Good morning. Good Saturday morning. I'm Carol with Free Spirit Arts. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to put a little cream on. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this jar so deep and they don't give you a spoon. Ooh, where's my little shovel that I bought? From Donna over at Dreams Times 3. Donna Dreams Times 3. That'd be perfect for that cream. So it is aloe vera and rose hips. And the scent is cucumber and melon mint. Not my favorite scent, but I knew what it was when I bought it, and I bought it anyway. I was looking for something different. Okay, let's light a candle. I light a candle in my room when I start a project because it helps cleanse my mental palette. Ruh-roh. Oh, dun, dun, dun. Let's see if it's even gonna light. It helps to cleanse my mental palette from whatever I've got going on in my head. And I was just downstairs cleaning the refrigerator and making plans on the calendar. Oh, yay. Looks like it's gonna work. Okay, let's take a breath. Okay, hope that lasts. Let's give it a little bit of room. Tammy, I really want a Nag Champa candle. I gotta get to your Etsy and sign one. Buy one while I'm on this no buy, which really means no resistance. All right, I'm going to do Self-Care Sunday 2023, which is sponsored by TammyVanAntwerp over at her channel, TammyVanAntwerp. She did, last week, she did an inner child where you get in touch with your inner child and then you just create whatever that inner child propels you to, prompts you to. You just do it. Doesn't have to make sense, doesn't have to be a story. It's just your basic, your basic inner child work. Okay. And I wanted a white background because I was thinking, you know, as a kid, jeez. When you start a project, you know, you start drawing or coloring or something, it's usually on white paper. So I thought this would be appropriate. Okay, let's see. I'd like to put it on this page, but I don't know. I guess if I press it, last time when I did this, I didn't press it down. I left it open, so it's wobbly. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll just, when I get done with this, I'll press it. And hopefully that will take some of the bumps out, at least not make it any worse. If you have any guest books laying around from a funeral, wedding that you don't really feel like you need to cherish till the ends of the time, this is a great use for them. This was my mother and father-in-law owned and operated a KOA for many years. And when they both passed away, the family's going through everything, asked if anybody wanted this book, and I said, yeah, I'll take it. I didn't know why at the time, but I'm glad I have it now. because I can create a blank page like this and everything that I'm doing stays together. So, you know, it's worked out great. I don't trust Oohoo stick glue. Sorry, Oohoo. Cheers, y'all. No, I don't trust it. Turn your lighter off. Okay. So the things are coming to mind for me. I got a bunch of macas out. I may have to grab, you know, something else. I don't know, but lots comes to mind when I think of my childhood. Lots comes to mind. I kind of feel like I lived several childhoods. And I don't know, I really would not have my childhood any other way, which is strange to say if you knew my childhood, but it's the truth. Let's see. Oh, I need red. Gotta have red. I have a new chair. I'll have to do a short. It makes all kinds of noise. It's leather. We were going to put it downstairs in the office, but it has no arms, and I like that in the craft room. So I thought, oh, that's pink. Yes, Carol, it is pink. That's okay. I like it. Okay. So I was saying, I really did live several childhoods, and I don't know, some might say it was a horrible childhood, but it wasn't to me. And, well, I don't even know if I dare say that. I don't know that I recognized really what was going on. And, this is hard to do while you're talking. So, oh gosh, this is terrible. So this is supposed to be a Cadillac. My father had a Cadillac, and it actually came out kind of pointed, but you get the gist, right? Even though it looks like a Flintstone car. I remember it was really fancy, or it seemed really fancy to me. That was the car of the decade then. So, and it's funny that I'm doing this with markers, because I don't think I ever owned markers as a child. I don't think I did. I don't remember owning markers. When I think of my childhood and I compare it to my children's childhood, wow. Like, oh, I can remember my kids having so many toys that when birthdays and Easter and Christmas especially, when that would come about, we would have a big thorough cleaning and throw away broken and donate everything to kids who needed toys. And I can remember talking to my kids about that. I mean, they really didn't want for much. I mean, of course, if you talk to them, that it might be different. But the way I remember it is, they were pretty flush with stuff. Okay, so that's the Batmobile. I don't know any other way to correct that so it looks better. So, yeah, my dad had a Cadillac, and he was kind of he was a ladies' man, let's say. So, he liked to drink, he liked to dance, party. What else? He raised greyhounds. Yeah, that was a thing in California, and I can remember him taking me to the track. And he did tell me that the dogs, if they didn't catch the rabbit, they couldn't race anymore. But he never went into detail about that. My mom and dad got divorced when gosh, how old would I have been? I don't even know. I don't even know how old I would have been, maybe 6 or 7-ish. And my dad died when I was 9. So, I think it was 9, if I remember correctly. So there's that, that was pretty hard living without a dad. And he was in California, and my mom lived in Idaho. So, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Back then, they would put me on a plane, and I would have an attendant sit with me in the seat, and we'd color and play games, and they got me all kinds of treats, and I got a little packet of, like I got some metal flying wings, and the captain came back and talked to me, and they let me fly. And I was little. I remember I was very little. So I do remember flying from Idaho to California. And I lived a typical, well, not typical, I lived a California life. I lived on the beach. I didn't own a pair of shoes. When I went to school in California, they actually made me go home because I didn't have a pair of shoes on. Weird, huh? I don't know how I got to school without shoes, but I remember that happened. We also lived, before, when my mom and dad were together, we lived in Arizona. And when we lived in Arizona, my memory is very cloudy, but I believe we lived a pretty swanky life for the times, I think. Because we had a nanny, and her name was Loopy, and I must have been 4-ish, because when I started first grade, I couldn't speak English. So I went to the classes with the migrant kids, and a lot of my friends were children of migrant workers. And Loopy was the only one that I could talk to. Except the bad words. My mother used to tell me that I knew the bad words. And my sisters wouldn't take me anywhere because I was embarrassing, because I would scream out the bad words. My sisters, they didn't take me anywhere anyway. I didn't have nice sisters. I had two, and they weren't nice. Neither one of them were nice. So I don't remember how long we had Loopy. I think all the time living in Arizona. In Phoenix. And I loved her. She was like my grandma. I loved her. She was so sweet. And so good to me. And some weekends when we would take her to where she lived, which was way out in the desert. And we would take her to her house on Fridays. And then I don't remember how Mom got her picked up to come back. But anyway, she would come back, and she stayed with us all week. Well, so I guess probably Mom and Dad were going somewhere for the weekend or had a party or something. I don't know. But sometimes I would go out and stay the weekend at Loopy's. Oh, I love that, because she lived in, I'm sure now, knowing what I know about migrant working, I would assume it was migrant housing, because it was basically a shack, and it had linoleum floors, and it was 2 rooms with a bathroom, and it was just, it sat right in the middle of the dirt, and there was no yard. It was just like, here's a building in the middle, pardon me, in the middle of the desert. And we would run around and around, me and her kids, or maybe they were her grandkids. Might have been her grandkids. Wished I knew all that now. I don't. I'm guessing. Anyway, we ran crazy all weekend. And I loved it. I loved going up there. There was dogs running loose everywhere, and I don't even remember what we played. We didn't have toys. I don't remember what we played. But anyway, that was fun. So when I would be with my dad in California, I was alone a lot. And he had people that lived with him a lot of the time. And they kind of, whoever was home sort of kind of thing, took care of me. Or I can't really say they took care of me, because they really didn't take care of me. But I can remember making Pop-Tarts. And I remember making Kraft macaroni and cheese. Whoops, I didn't want red. Yeah, I remember making Kraft macaroni and cheese without milk. Yeah, oh geez. It wasn't very good. But I can remember eating it. I can remember eating it. Yeah, I was alone a lot. I remember we lived in a motel for a long time, and I would go sit by the pool, which is weird because the pool was right by the ocean. And I came and went from the ocean all day, all by myself. I would walk down there and play and swim and this was a convertible, so we're gonna say that that's the top. Yeah, I was black. I don't remember taking a bath as you would think of as a bath. I was in the water so much. In fact, I was in the pool so much that my hair turned green. And I know now that it was algae or fungus or whatever from the chlorine in the pool. Yeah, I would go down to the beach and I would... Back then, I don't remember worrying about being kidnapped or anything. I don't remember worrying about any of that. We have to have a son. So let me get some yellow. Wow, that's like a perfect circle. I'll never be able to do that again. Yeah, I don't remember any. I do remember people I didn't know kind of taking me under their wing. Like the housekeeper at the motel would bring me pop from the pop machine. I would be sitting by the pool in the lounger, and I was playing with a game called Don't Spill the Beans. And she would bring me soda. And then I remember a lot of time spent in bars, either in the car, in the parking lot, or actually in the bar drinking Shirley Temples and making things out of the stems of the maraschino cherries, and the cocktail waitresses bringing me hamburgers and French fries and hugging me and all kinds of stuff like that. Now, it sounds real sad, but honestly, probably at the time, I may have been sad or lonesome or something, I don't know, but I don't remember that. I know now that the adults in my life kind of behave badly. I recognize that. I was alone a lot at night. Which I know now should not have happened. And I do remember being scared. my mother's mother, one time I was by myself, me and my brother, and my maternal grandmother came over. And my maternal grandmother was mean. She was abusive. She was wicked. She was like somebody they make movies out of. And I remember her waking me up and yelling, and the phone rang, and it was my mom, I think, and she said she wasn't going to be home. I found out later that they were in jail for DUI, but it wasn't a DUI at that time. I don't remember what it was called. And I think they'd been in a wreck. And so my grandmother stayed with me for, wasn't very long, a day or something. I was so scared of her. Oh. She was so mean. She was always mean. I remember, let's draw that. I remember one time going down to the beach, and in between the rocks, there was some rocks that went out into the ocean, kind of. It was wading. You could wade. The water was only about that deep. And I found a little baby squid. I didn't know what it was at the time. But my dad took it inside and put it in a big glass bowl, and we brought some sand in and some ocean water, and he lived in the kitchen. It's a green ocean, not sure why, but it is. Let's see, I don't know what else to draw in my childhood. I remember my sister. I had one sister who was much older than everybody, and she wasn't around very much. And but she was in San Diego at one point. I don't know where else she was the rest of the time, but I stayed with her at times, and she and her husband were very kind to me, and I loved her a lot. And they got me a bunny rabbit. And they lived in a little, I don't know, apartment. And I don't think they were supposed to have bunny rabbits. So it lived in the fireplace. It had a screen thing, and the fireplace was all clean. And oh, I just loved that rabbit. Maybe I will draw. I remember going down the highway in California to these cool buildings that were bars. I mean, they were bars. But they were cool. Like one of them had live lobster. in a great big huge tank. And I remember one of them had piranha. Well, I don't know if it really was piranha, but that's what they told me. And maybe that was just because piranha were cool. But I remember going to that place a lot. I don't remember fun as far as there was no such thing as I don't remember a birthday. That's not true. I remember one birthday that I had. Well, I remember about 2 minutes of it. But I don't remember Christmas or any of that. The one Christmas that I remember is very traumatic. That's the one where my house burnt down. So this is getting depressing. But honestly, guys, when I was in the throes of it all, I mean, there were times when I was afraid and confused and stuff, but I don't know why, but I think I was born an old soul, and I don't know. I knew my dad loved me, and I always knew that that I would be okay. Well, I can't say always, but a lot of the time I knew I was going to be okay. Things were going to be okay. And when you don't know any different, you don't know any different. So when I look back at my inner child, I don't feel like there's any healing to be done. I've done that stuff as I grew up. I never went to therapy or anything. That wasn't even thought of, you know. I had a lot of people in my life, adults, who stepped in and made a difference, and I knew that. And I think maybe that helped me to feel important or seen. Because sometimes when a child has a chaotic upbringing, they kind of feel invisible, you know. So let's write on this. Hashtag Self-Care Sunday 2023. Okay, guys. I mean, I've dredged up enough depressing crap. It's not depressing to me, but now that I know what I know, being a therapist, this is not the childhood you would want to try to create for some kid. They shouldn't grow up alone, and they shouldn't grow up in a bar. And the 50s were a different time, you know. 50s, 60s, they were a different time. But that's my share for Tammy for Self-Care Sunday 2023. It's an open collab. Feel free to join in. She's done some neat prompts. Every week she does a prompt. And she's done meditation, and she's done some fun stuff. And even this was fun. And I hope it wasn't sad. Because sometimes, I don't know, I have friends who go, oh, that's so sad. No, not really. It's okay. I mean, I'm happy. I have a great life. All right, guys, so I might get to my Saturday morning makes. I'm not going to use this for Saturday morning makes because it's not really a craft, right? All right, guys, I will talk to you when I get my next video made, okay? Let's all take care of each other. Bye-bye.